Let's go. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of, oh, let's fix this up, of Hardlead, we have the American Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Kirktown. I believe that is Dave Tester's clan. It is Arjsk8ter. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Zerg. It is Cheabs. Oh, let's go. Okay, so it's been a whole minute since I've casted Arjsk8ter. I wish we casted more. I remember Arjsk8ter's games being quite entertaining in the past, and this is gonna be a little bit low. Oh my god, that's a rally if I've ever seen one. As we come in to attempt to block and deny that base, but alas, it was thrown down, and the probe scout was a little bit delayed. So Cheabs is able to get away with the hatch first opener. This is going to be a little bit lower level. For those wondering, the previous games were diamond level, and I believe this is a little bit lower, around platinum. Just for some context and just for some expectations. As for now, it's going to be hatch gas pool. Pretty standard opener here out of Cheabs. Cheabs? Yeah. And Arjsk8ter back at home, just setting up for an interesting opener as well, going for, I imagine, a gate expand. There we go, Nexus is on the way, so very economic opener here out of Arjsk8ter. Nothing too crazy, should be followed by the cyber core as well, so again, nothing too out of the ordinary when it comes to the openers. It's after the openers though, that's where things start to spice up already. Cheabs going for a very fast second gas. This is something that you don't see too often. I wonder what this is going to be for. We just saw a lot of games from Siler, so this, you know, more often than not is going to be for roach play, for something very gas intensive. We could skip link speed and go for a faster layer as well. I'd be very shocked if we commit, and okay, we are still getting link speed. We're just rushing into the second gas, and again, you typically don't get a second gas geyser without reason, and the reason would typically be higher form of tech, whether it's roaches, maybe fast lair for like fast hydras or something like that. We'll see. Bailing, I'm not too fond of this. We're going for a bailing nest. So typically you don't need this much gas for a bailing bust. We have a second drone here. Are we throwing down something else? Oh, okay. Huh. All right, Cheabs, you have my attention. So we're going for a bailing nest and a roach ward. The roach ward makes sense now. We understand why we have a second gas. Bailing nest a little bit less so. It's in a way they both have the same role, so we go for one or the other, especially if we're being hyper aggressive. Regardless, you know, this is now the composition of choice for Cheabs back at home. Arjsk8ter, oh my god, back at home. We're going for a robo opener from our Protoss player, and a very safe opener as well. We have a blind shield battery and a second pylon as a part of the wall. The tech as a part of the wall as well, or here on the low ground. So Arjsk8ter being very scared with his build, and being very safe and scared, I should say. Overall, with this fast robo, he's going to get into fast immortal production. Again, just very safe play here from Arjsk8ter. Very blind play because he hasn't really seen too much. To me, this tells me that this is a Protoss player that's been like killed by nonsense before. He's like, look, I've died to too many roach rushes. I'm going robo first into immortal, okay? And I'm like, okay, that's fair enough, Papi. You do you. This is a Protoss player that's been hurt before, is what I'm saying. Arjsk8ter, he's seen some cheats. As the depths move out, but they're going to be cleaned up by these lings, and Cheabs is rushing into those roaches, as we mentioned earlier. Not really saturating his natural base at all, and this is, yeah, just a 2-base all-in out of our Zerg. Now, the odd thing about this 2-base all-in is that we are getting a lair. The lair doesn't really add anything to this. Of course, with the lair, we can get into roach speed or bailing speed and things of that nature. But when it comes to this all-in, this isn't really adding anything to the all-in. So a little bit perplexing as to why we would get the lair. Regardless, the all-in is upon us, and Arjsk8ter happened to blindly been playing defensively anyway, so he's decently set up for this. Decently. There's no sentries for force fields. Force fields would be amazing in this position. We do have a second immortal on the way. Dark Shrine as well with that Twilight Council working towards charge. Arjsk8ter with that Dark Shrine, he can counterattack with DTs once he deals with this army, but can he? Because that's a lot of banelings. Oh, we go straight for the... Oh my god. We go for one of the buildings instead. We waste the banelings on the building, and as a result, Arjsk8ter, he's gonna shut this down. So a little bit of misjudgments out of Cheabs. We could have gone for the unit instead of the buildings, and we would have been able to bust on through. But alas, yeah, with that, the banelings are wasted. The roaches being hunted. We can keep going, Poppy. We can keep going. Push. I mean, we could keep going. Maybe if we wait for a wave of reinforcements. There we go. Zelts are on the way. This is an army that is quite vulnerable to a Lynx around. So it makes sense that Arjsk8ter is a little bit tentative about this here, but he's going to back off. He's going to calm things down, and the game will progress from here. Cheabs is droning. He's saturating his natural, working towards a third. Likewise, Arjsk8ter is restarting his Cybercore, and I'm loving that now he has the opportunity to harass with these DTs. The Dark Templar, the Invisible Man, they're on the way. Soon. And there's no detection. There is a lair, so we can morph in Overseers, but there are no spores set up here for the Zerg player, so these DTs, they have a lot of potential. They have a lot of potential for damage. As they are moving out. Behind this, Arjsk8ter working on his third. Still building up his immortal count. The army is looking quite impressive, and we're even going into DT Blink. Okay, Arjsk8ter looking to have some fun. No! As he does swipe that base, he shows his hand, and Cheabs has the opportunity to make some Overseers. There we go. Overseers on the way. As the DT did reveal itself, but we are getting into the mineral lines, and drones are going down. Well, we are on a bit of an A move, so the DT is going to automatically attack those roaches. But there we go. Now going to be retargeting those drones instead. Oh my god, and a lot of workers are going down. Overseer does arrive, but the DT is still going ham in the main. 15, 16. 15 drones go down for 2 DTs. Well worth it for Arjsk8ter. And that is enough to get him into an economic lead. But behind this, Cheabs is still droning. The downside here is that the DTs did a lot of damage, yes, but Arjsk8ter has been missing probe cycles. This natural base is still not saturated, and it should be at this point. So he has been missing a couple of cycles. His macro has been slipping up a little bit here. So Arjsk8ter, he isn't as ahead as he should be after that harass. As he is, yeah, even here we can be making 3 workers at a time. We can even be chrono boosting. This is also a big reason as to why our worker count's a little bit lower, is because we haven't been spending our chrono boosts. There's a lot of energy on these bases, a lot of energy to be used, and this is giving the opportunity for Cheabs to build his way back up. We have a Hydra Den on the way, so Roach Hydra is going to be coming out from our Zerg. He's saturating his bases a little bit. Again, not ideal for our Zerg player. We could just go up to 60 workers at this point. 3 base saturation. But Arjsk8ter is moving out. Does come across the army. The banelings are being wasted. Oof. Yeah, the banelings are going down. Do we have roach speed? We do have roach speed, but not too many roaches. We blink on forward and dive on top of the army. And this push could even end the game with 3 immortals. Like, these roaches are going to have a hard time pushing in. The immortals have a lot of potential for damage. Yeah, the shields are activated. Roaches are melting. Looks like 1 roach is going to go down. But again, there's only 2 roaches left. We can keep we can keep pushing. Lings are coming in to reinforce. I guess the big scary thing about this move out from Arjsk8ter is that he doesn't have a warp prism, so he doesn't have a way to save his immortals, and he doesn't have a way to reinforce and warp in aggressively. So yeah, without that warp prism, these pushes, they don't have as much longevity as they should. Arjsk8ter backs off. Despite having a good fight, he will retreat. Working towards Colossus. When it comes to our Zerg player, we had the Hydra Den, so I was excited for like Roach Hydra into Lurkers, but it looks like we're kind of changing our minds a little bit. We're getting a bit of everything. We have the Infestation Pits, Hydra Den, Spire, no Hive Tech yet. Looks like Cheabs is just kind of opening up their options, not entirely certain as to what they want to go for. Just still committing to Roach Lingbane, which isn't a bad composition. It's the problem for Cheabs is that we don't really have the economy to sustain Lingbane Roach Ravager. Again, that's typically an issue that is, that's typically a big kind of hurdle to overcome. Maybe the biggest hurdle to overcome to break into something like Diamond is just macro, is just making workers, saturating your bases, focusing on your economy as well. This is applicable to both players, to both Cheabs and Arjsk8ter. We were talking about the lack of chrono boost, for example. Like we still have plenty of energy here for more chrono boost as well. And yeah, worker production is just something that's that comes with time, comes with more play, more practice, more experience. But Cheabs is now focusing on it, is now droning quite heavily on 3 bases, working on his 4th. Still no bailing speed, which is bothering me a little bit. They're waddling in, Papi. They're waddling in. They're not going to connect with anything, Papi. Not against Colossus. It's not happening. Do we have our first Colossus? We do. Colossus are out. Centum Lance is done. And Arjsk8ter is just building up his death ball of an army, coming across the slow banes as well, and he will annihilate this. Oh my god. Steamrolling his way through. And do we have any forces left behind this? We're working on Corruptors, which will deal with the Colossus, at least. But there's not much else for them to do. We need some confidence, Pap. We need some confidence. I understand that we've been done dirty by Roach players in the past, but we need to know when to aim. Oh, as the army is a little bit disjointed. But yeah, once we bring everything together, Arjsk8ter should be able to just force his way through, roll over this army. He is giving the opportunity for Cheabs to amass more lings. We have 32 more lings on the way. And again, Arjsk8ter just a little bit tentative about pushing too far into creep. Does spot those bailings. We can get on top of this. We can. Oh, the Colossus are left behind. No! The Colossus are exposed. 1, 2 of them are going to be going down. A rough start to the fight here for Arjsk8ter. Bailings waddle on in, but not the best connections from the Zerg. And again, we can still break through this. Corruptors are dead supply at this point, and GG gets called. And Arjsk8ter takes the game. GG. GG, Poppy, GG. My favorite moments is the start. I love the start because the start of the game is so like vindicating. I was bringing up the fact that Arjsk8ter, like the way that he was playing, like clearly he had been all in many times in the past. You know, he was playing very safely, blindly throwing down his second pylon at the wall, blindly going for a shield battery, robo opener into immortals as well. Like again, all of that reads as someone that's like just been all in and is willing to like open inefficiently just to be safe in the early game. And he just happened to be going up against an all in, like into a Roach Bane all in of all things. So Arjsk8ter just happened to be just beautifully set up for that at the start of the game, and from that moment, after the all-in failed, Arjsk8ter was kind of in the driver's seat, was in a commanding position, and yeah, well done. GG, well played. GG, Poppy, GG.